welcome back to another episode of, actually, first port of business. We used to be the Taichou pod. Now we're Undisputed Anime. My word. We'll get into that in a moment, but welcome. As always, I am your host, the formerly known Senpai Zane. As always, I am joined by my fantastic co-host, Mr. Susu Day. Or should I call you Senpai Susu Day now?
Well, I'll hold on to that title for as long as I can. Maybe we'll leverage it somehow.
We got a lot to catch up on. It's been a minute.
In a hot minute.
Woo. So where have we been? Well, first question of the day, where have we been? We had some time off, not together. No, we
give
had
the viewers what they want.
If you've been listening to Undisputed Nerds podcast, you know that I've been on holiday recently. Mr. Susu Day had some time off as well. So we just took some time off, catched up, recharged, but we are back, more importantly. Second item on the news is the name change. Why have you changed your name again? So for our historic listeners, you'll know that we were once originally into the Otakuverse. I nearly forgotten. But some people found that really hard to say and find. So we became the Otaku podcast. But when you type in Otaku, there are a lot of different Otakus. So we decided to take a leaf out of the sister podcast and decided to name ourselves Undisputed. So it just makes life a little bit more easier, a little bit more discoverable, more than anything.
Good call.
Yeah,
branded. One wrong click on an otaku search, and you're going to end up somewhere where you don't want to be. So,
or maybe that was the whole plan.
Yeah, like you don't want to put the viewers in that position, do you?
No, we do not. Even though some do like to put their suggestions in our comments of source material, shall we say.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyways, as you've probably seen from today's title, we are going to talk about some live action adaptations and such. So a lot to talk about, a lot to jump into. So if you're watching this live on YouTube, like Ice Wolf, who says, "Evening, gents, how's the squad? We're better now that you're here with us." As always, if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, drop in a comment and share, subscribe, all that jazz. Wonderful. Okay, so also name stuff about me. I know some people have been asking, Zane, you've lost your senpai. Yes, I know. If you have suggestions, like I know we've had one suggestion already that I should be now known as Taichou. What's that laugh?
There was no laugh.
There was no laugh, no sniggering there?
No laugh, there was no sound made.
No.
You can interpret that as you will.
So, which I quite like. I quite like that because like Taichou's like a leader, captain.
All I hear is Hinamori from that one arc, finding out that Aizen is dead or Aizen has betrayed her, and she's screaming Aizen Taichou. That's all I hear.
Yeah.
It rings in my ears, like I can't unhear it. It's shrill.
The betrayal was so shocking. Just rocks you to your core.
But the best ones are.
This is true. There we go. Also, you may have seen on my Twitter, I've changed my name to Galactic Pretty Boy or Bishy. So there we go.
You've been busy.
I've been busy. I've had a lot of suggestions.
It's been a while.
Anyways, so the whole reason we decided to have this conversation is we know that there's going to be a live action Cowboy Bebop coming to Netflix very, very soon.
November.
And this got us thinking, this got us talking outside of the podcast, and we were like, there's been a few of these, and dare I say, not many good ones either, especially ones that have been adapted from the West.
Adapted in the West, yes.
That was a lot trickier, wasn't it?
I was like, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to say the right words. Everyone's going to think I'm a hero. And then I was like,
So, yeah, have you... Let's just shoot from the hip here. What are your
live
thoughts?
action animes? Like,
Yeah.
what's there to say about them, right? I think that was my main reasoning for wanting to have this discussion, because it's always been so hit and miss, especially with things that have been touched by the West.
Yeah.
And I think it starts to raise the question of, should the West stop trying? Or should they keep hitting and keep missing until they get it right?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, if we look back at some of the previous ones that we've had, of course, we mentioned Cowboy Bebop, Alita Battle Angel, probably one of the
I'd say that's
newest
probably
ones.
the most... that's got the most Hollywood treatment after Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at least over here in the West, obviously, live action adaptations are much more popular and much better received in the East.
Yeah.
I think it's a different culture. They go into it knowing what what to expect and what they want from it, and what they want from it is what they get from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other part of it as well is like they don't try to... There's a lot of kind of changes that are made with adaptations and such. So, for example, let's take Dragon Ball, for example. Dragon Ball Evolution. Sure, we got an alien named Piccolo, but don't hide your face.
I can't believe you just went straight into it. You just took the knife straight out, stabbed it into my...
It's probably the genesis, like leading up to Evolution. The whole idea of what if there was a live action version of Dragon Ball Z just blew every child in the 90s mind. And the fact that it came to fruition as well. We all wished so hard that into existence. What we got was an abomination. But
was it our bad wish, or was it bad management?
bad
writing, bad. There's a lot of bad. I mean, I don't have a single good thing to say about it, other than the fact that apparently it was really quite popular in China. They wanted a sequel.
Did they really?
Mm-hmm.
That really surprises me.
I mean, it's the same. I think that depending on where you go, people have different cultures have different opinions of movies. I think that is it like the Transformers movies aren't very well liked in Asia.
Yeah.
And so that it's kind of like that. It's but where over here, anything Michael Bay is even if it's a bad film, gets so much watching.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Wow, I did not know that.
Apparently so. I could be completely wrong. However, that's what I heard.
No, that's interesting. I guess it's like you said, it depends on things like DVD. Well, historically speaking, it used to be dependent on home release sales as well as box office. They've never been massive box office hits. Again, for example, Ghost in the Shell, probably one of the more high end spec of that, and such. But on the sort of lower end scale, Netflix original movie, Death Note, was again, look, with Death Note, there was some great things and there was some really bad things and some real bad decisions made with it. I just, I, at the moment, I don't have a lot of faith in where Hollywood is going with these adaptations. Like with news of a One Piece adaptation coming, it just really.
I think that our mutual friends, let's call him Bill,
Okay.
for all intents and purposes,
To protect his identity.
to protect his identity, he put it the best in the things that the stories that are told in manga and anime
Mm-hmm.
are more often than none so bananas, like
Yeah.
so fantastically out of this world, that there isn't really any way that you can translate it to live action in a way that will 100% satisfy any viewer. Because
I
on
see.
one side, on the side of the camp of people who only know live action like films and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to look at it and think, oh well, the special effects in this are not great
Mm-hmm.
because of because they're used to very high fidelity, very, very uncannily good graphics nowadays.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got the people on the other side of the camp, the people who are from the manga and anime like fandom background, they're going to look at it and think, well, this movie, what made the story great was held back by how limited they
Mm-hmm.
were because of how like crazy it was. Like I think he made a great example about One Piece is gonna look ridiculous. The
Yeah.
main character is a rubber man who attacks by stretching his limbs. It's gonna look. Well, I don't. I don't. It's gonna look wild.
I hear. Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. At the same time, like I feel like they do tear away from what makes it the heart of the story and what makes it so great in terms of. Again, I'm trying to think of an example. I suppose with Dragon Ball, they've tried to make Goku more relatable, where Goku is such a zany character that I feel like the intrigue of his zaniness kind of draws you in. Like
He's a
he's
lovable idiot.
naive. Exactly. He's naive. He's an idiot. Where with that version, he was like I don't know, 19-year-old who cared about gelling his hair and getting a car and a girl and stuff. And it was kind of like, I get it. It's trying to
It's trying to. It's trying to appeal.
be
It's trying to.
relatable.
Yeah, it's trying to make it appeal to a wider audience because as soon as
Mm,
something becomes a live action, like the people who are making these money off these films they're seeing how much money they can make. And if you go into something expecting it to like be like a cult hit or like a small cult hit or like just something with a very niche audience, then
mm-hmm.
you're going into it expecting not to make a lot of money. But I think that the problem is with a lot of these titles that we've seen butchered,
Yeah.
for no better word for it, is like the people who have taken them up, or taken these projects in the West at least, they've kind of looked at how amazing the source material was,
Mm-hmm.
and then they've gone, how can we make money out of this?
Yeah.
How can we get as many people to watch this as possible? And it kind of like loses a lot of the magic in the process. And I think that's why things generally remain pretty good in terms of like when it's released in Japan and stuff. Like they're a whole culture which like was deeply ingrained in like the Super Sentai like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like trope of shows stuff. Like they go into those sorts of films expecting it to have like all this cheese and have all of this like ridiculous effects. Whereas we
Yeah.
go into films and we're like, well, if Spider-Man arrives and then there was a giant like colorful explosion behind him, like we'd be like, what is this? Like, why is this
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's kind of like, 20 years ago, having Mysterio as a villain in a Spider-Man movie might have been a bit too zany.
Yeah, how would that
Where
work?
now, where we've been exposed to 10 years of superhero movies and, kind of climatized, I guess, if
Yeah.
that's the right word.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we've grown accustomed, I should say, to how wacky and zany they really can and such. So that makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, the sort of flip side of it is, back in Japan, when they've done live adaptations, things of like Full Metal Alchemist, and more recently, the Bleach movie, they've actually been decent. Like, I'm not saying the Bleach one was incredible and it was everything I ever wanted. Like,
Yeah,
it had its issues, but it had
there are
like almost,
limitations, but
yeah,
it's
beat for beat, it was, almost like the first couple of volumes of Bleach. And I've thought it was fantastic. The casting looked like the characters. Believe it or not, you don't always get that in live adaptations. And yeah, I also, one thing I should mention slightly as well is that this is something that I remember when they went to film the Final Fantasy movie Advent Children. And the whole reason that they didn't do it live action is because they realized early on that they wouldn't be able to get the right camera action angles when it came to fight sequences
yeah,
and
absolutely.
capturing that sort of moment and energy where, again, with live action, you're kind of limited not only on budget, but camera angles. Some are just
You're
too impossible.
limited by physics. You're limited by actual real world physics. Whereas if you do it like animated, well, like what can I say? It's phenomenal if they get it right.
Absolutely.
And, I think that the in generally the West is has issues with it being relatable to a Western audience as well. Like, and it's not as bad as it was now. It's actually much better now. But in the past, if someone in the West touched a live action or tried to adapt something, it's become so far removed from what it originally was, and you end up like with your like typical shonen hero ending up being like Chad Kobayashi, like like I was like just a normal high school footballer, and now I broke my leg, and now I gotta
Yeah.
stop the evil wizard in the town,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And I
Isn't
think
that the
I think that's a very Western comic kind of trope that they're trying to impose upon this. I mean, like, yeah, it's almost like for the longest time they've looked at like comics in the West and they've looked at like manga and anime and they've gone, oh, they're comics, they're the same thing,
Yeah.
like they're the same stories. So
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's yeah, if they just try and stick to the source. I know we say this all the time about anime as well. If they stick to the source material, like it's easy. But again, like executives like to get involved. I don't know if you've seen this recently. I'll just pull this article up.
please do.
In sort of recent tweets and stuff, I believe it's the writer or director for the One Piece, head writer, has compared Luffy to
Kamala Harris.
yeah, and it's just kind of like it doesn't need to get political. Like, you don't have to add in this extra element to it. Like, there are parts of One Piece which is about government and freedom and fighting back in a revolution and such. They're pirates, for goodness sake. But at the same time, like, you don't have to then insert your own political agendas on top of that.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be like kind of introduced in that same sort of way, especially when the world is so far removed from the real world. I mean, there are obviously there are titles out there that are coming out at games, comics, even anime and manga, which are
Mhm.
set in a more modern day setting, and as a result, you see a lot of like branding, like
Yeah.
off branding. You see characters I don't know how many manhwa and like manga I've seen in the last like couple of years where
Mhm.
I've seen Obama in it or I've seen Trump in it and stuff like that. It like that stuff is becoming like it's seeping into my manga.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's funny though. Like I
Yeah,
think it was the Death Note that had Trump, didn't it?
yeah, it
Because
was
he tried to bid
in
the one shot.
the one shot, yeah, and he won the bid on, yeah. So
See, things like that are hilarious, and
yeah,
you know you could take
because it's
the
done
tongue in
right.
cheek bit.
It was done right, wasn't it? So
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, so yeah, it's one aspect we kind of desire doesn't happen. Is what shall I say? Um, I keep thinking about that bloody Death Note. Sorry, every time I see it, I'm like, what could have been?
see,
Like,
it's like what it's when Death Note is a great example because when I originally saw, and I remember seeing this because you came up to visit me and my partner from where we were
mhm,
living at the time. You brought up both live action Death Notes on DVD,
yes,
and we watched them, and I enjoyed them, but I came away from them thinking this is my expectations of what it could be have kind of let me down here. It didn't exceed
mm,
that expectation, but then the Netflix adaptation came out, and I was like, looking back, it was a like the original two movies were fantastic. They were so to the material, like
yeah, yeah,
and I would like kind of I had let my own expectations of what I imagined it could be like
mhm,
mar it for me in the first instance, which is why I'm trying to go into Cowboy Bebop with an open mind because I think that usually by this point I would have seen the casting and I would have gone, oh no, like with Ghost in the Shell. Like the moment
yeah.
I saw the original casting for Ghost in the Shell, I was like, they've already kind of like done this, like made all
They
these
put themselves
mistakes.
in, yeah, they put themselves in the corner straight from the get go.
Yeah, and I feel like we're now in a place where when live action remakes are being made now,
Mhm,
there's a lot more. It's less like we've got to get like this super talented actor in to be this character so that people will watch it, and less that we'll take the time to find the right sort of actor to go in the role, someone
mhm,
who actually matches the character.
yeah,
Then maybe we'll be on something. It's like M Night Shyamalan's Avatar.
yes,
Like
yeah,
they
yeah,
they massacred my boy.
yeah, yeah. It was the phrase "dead on arrival" comes to mind with something like that. It was not the best. By the way, just to shout out to the super chats. Welcome to the channel, Anime Gensho. Um, Fantastic podcast platform. So welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. But yeah, it is. I do have high hopes. Like I do hope maybe Cowboy Bebop does break the live action curse. As
That's what they're saying,
sometimes
isn't it? It's break
I
the curse.
yeah, I really do hope it breaks the curse, and fingers crossed, One Piece might be something fantastic. Again, there's been live adaptations in Japan more for stage shows, which always look incredible. Like I think there was one at the Tokyo Tower, and the same from Naruto. There was a adaptation into a live show theater, similar to like I guess over here we've got Cats.
Those are two very different things to compare to one another. But I don't. I do love it. I don't take enough time to kind of seek it out. But I do love it when I'll be on the internet and I'll see, oh, they've adapted this anime or this video game into a stage play, and it's like a
Mm.
musical at the same time. And I'm like, what? This is like wild. Like this is like absolutely sign me up for this. I was
Yeah,
it's
and
like you see all the Persona. Like I love the Persona franchise, and they like make stage plays for like every single game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like it's what I'm gonna see what because
That's incredible. I didn't know they did it for Persona.
yeah,
That's
it's
pretty.
fantastic. Is this it? Yeah, there it is. Let me pull this up onto another tab and do a share because I love Persona. And I mean, this is just a quick for that, but how good is
Wow,
that?
that's amazing.
Yeah,
And again, costume design, look, wigs, all
it's
accurate.
great.
All accurate. Nothing
Let
looks like it's changed. Like,
let the theater kids do it. Let that they care. They care about their craft.
absolutely, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's honestly like I'm gonna see what kinds of more because I love this stuff.
As Susude is going down a rabbit hole, don't forget to let us know what you think. Do you think Cowboy Bebop can break the curse? Let us know in the comments if you're watching this back. If you are listening,
Send good
to this,
vibes.
we want to know. Of course, if you're listening to this, by the way, check out the YouTube version so you can see all the stuff Susude is sharing currently.
Oh, I'm currently not sharing anything, but all hyped up now. I'm like, yeah.
I can tell.
Let me share these things.
You know, these are going to make great clips for like TikTok and the Instagram.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, if you want to get me up there, make me famous, then please do. I'll take that secondhand fame. Thank you very much.
Here we go. Here's another. Can you zoom in a little bit? There we go. Persona 3.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
love it when people get things right. And who's better at getting things right than the land of its birth?
That's very true. Very true.
There's the long-awaited rain, my friend. I can hear it. It's here. It's beautiful.
For those who are wondering what we're talking about, we've had a mini heat wave, and we are currently waiting for the rain to help cool us down.
It's here.
It's here as we have this discussion. Anyways, I think there's some upcoming projects that are also being adapted. I think I've said that right. I think there's word of a My Hero Academia. Here we go. Film in production. Now, I believe it's being directed by Shinsuke Sato, who directed the live-action Bleach, as we previously mentioned, Alice in Borderland, Kingdom, Death Note, Light Up the New World, and many more. So, again, someone who did a fantastic job with Bleach. I really hope, does a great job with My Hero Academia here.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna get a share in here as well.
Yeah, you got something?
I got something here. This is from the stage play.
Oh, the My Hero stage play. Wow.
Yeah.
Can
They
you zoom
got
in a bit
those
more?
they got those
Those costumes and the hair as well.
right, yeah.
And this
So
is on Hypebeast. That's incredible.
wonderful. See, it's stuff like this that makes me believe that it can be done.
Hmm.
Like if they can do it this well for like the theater,
Yeah.
why can't they do it? Why can't they get it right for this big screen? If
Hmm.
anything, it should be easier on the big screen.
You would think, yeah, because costumes, actors, and everything else is there. It's just,
Effects, it's like, I mean,
yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, doing a complete 180.
Hmm.
I think this is something we also discussed off screen.
Hmm.
Is Do you think, and I think I asked this to our group chat as well, do
Hmm.
you think that the West should be thinking less about doubling down on doing live adaptations of anime or manga titles and
Hmm.
instead trying to take those same titles and giving them a Western animation spin? I think that one of the examples I used was imagine something like Death Note or imagine something like Cowboy Bebop, but done
Hmm.
in the style of the most recent DC animated movies. Like imagine those stories told
Hmm.
in Western animation. Because I don't know, I feel like it will be a bigger change,
Sure.
but I feel like I'm less opposed to an anime, like a different style of animation, because we've seen that with they did something different with Lupin, and they've done
Yes,
Lupin as a 3D animation, and it's gone down an absolute, like, what treat, like.
it has gone down a treat. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Here's my thought process. Those DC animated movies, as fantastic as they are, they do some jiggery pokery when it comes to adaptating the books. And that's why a majority of them are just okay, and you get some great ones like Under the Red Hood, because it still delivers a great message, the same message as the book did. And sure, there's a little hokey pokey, but it's seamless. Like, it's fantastic from start to finish. The other thing as well is that I know some of the time Western animators, when they get into a kerfuffle with fight scenes, they'll go to Korean studios to animate it for them. So, for example, Korra, and Avatar Korra. It's not every case. Like Powerhouse, who did Blood of Zeus and everything else, Castlevania, incredible, all Western in house. But that's not the case for all of them, sadly. So
Very
it's
true.
going to the east, maybe on some occasions. The other thing that crossed my mind was, if they're going to do live adaptation movies, why don't they just use the animated movies like Heroes Rising, My Hero Academia Hero Rising? Because it does everything they want it to do, introduce the characters, kind of give you an idea of what their powers is and what it's about, and then kind of go all spectacular, but in a shorter time scale. Because I guess My Hero Rising is it's not a 2 hour movie, right? It's got to be like an hour long. So I'm just thinking, like, why not, instead of adapting great volumes and chapters and stuff, that, and do some
What
chip choppy,
do like standalone stories is what you're saying.
yeah, just adaptate OVAs, or things of that nature.
It's 1 hour 44 minutes is the
One,
runtime of Heroes Rising.
there we go. So it's like they can bolster it out a bit more by a bit more sticking with certain characters, character developments, flashbacks, whatever you want to call it. Because if we wanted to hit a 2 hour benchmark, it wouldn't take much to add a couple of more scenes in. I feel like those would be safer to kind of get people behind it. Make it be your Iron Man one and your Captain America one. Get a fan base, and then go all in on certain chapters and everything else.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Tell like think t-
Hmm.
tell me a scene or a part of an anime or manga that you'd want to see adapted, and I will tell you what I think it should be adapted to look like.
Like you're a producer. Like if you're Warner Brothers, and I'm like,
Oh no, I've got a very specific thing, the animation style that I want. I'll say for anything you tell me, but I
okay,
think
okay. So if I came to you and I said I wanted this live action but animated. Sorry.
no, like just any anime or manga that you've seen, any anime that you've watched and you thought, oh, that'll be like, I'd love to see that again in a different way.
Let's play safe. I'm going to say Naruto versus Sasuke, the first fight at Ninja Falls, whatever it's called.
Okay. Naruto versus Sasuke.
Mm-hmm.
Their first final battle at Ninja Falls
Mm-hmm.
before Sasuke leaves the village proper. Naruto fails, or feels like he fails. But it's
Chapter
animated.
27 or 26, I believe. Volume before Shippuden. Yeah. Anyways.
Animated
Mm-hmm.
by the animators who did, and in the style of
Mm-hmm.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Could you imagine that fight scene looking as crisp and nice as that fight scene that is always on the internet for Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. I mean,
that's like a benchmark that I use these days.
that I did think about that fight scene recently. What did I watch the other day? And I was like, why isn't it these people who animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles doing this show? Because it bloody well needs it. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Western cartoon. Like it might have been. No, it wasn't Batman. I definitely know it wasn't Batman. But either way, I was like, it should be these people animating it.
Yeah, but that's I think that's what makes me sad about all these like kind of adaptations of any kind, live action, like, anime, like going down badly, really makes me sad, because like in the West there are so many talented like teams
Yeah.
making media, and like all it would take is for them to be given the right product. I mean, I see it a lot in a lot of these like newer Western cartoons now, is that the people who are making them are massive fans of anime and video games, and as a result, that get little elements of those things are getting translated into this style which has not been there before. And
Yeah.
I think if people, this is the thing, because we live in a corporate capitalist society, I think the moment that people stop trying to make money out of it and just start trying to make good experiences,
Yeah.
that's when they'll get it right. Because Netflix could be the biggest, most powerful media like final boss in the world, but if they don't actually care about the end experience, and they just care about trying to get as many people to watch it, and even that's then when you get that rich, if they don't care that it doesn't do as well as it could do, because they've got enough money to take that loss, like then it's never gonna be as good as it can be, because it doesn't need to be, it just needs to be okay.
Yeah. It's as you say that, it makes me think of He-Man Revelations, like fantastically animated, or again by Powerhouse Studios. It's just its message and delivery just got a little bit muddled and a little bit here, there, everywhere, which is a shame.
Yeah, absolutely, because I watched it, I enjoyed it, but I do feel like if there wasn't, if they could have just done what they wanted to do, probably would have been better.
Yeah, 100%.
You've always got to worry about stepping on someone's toes about stuff like that. and it's not even like in the way that you expect anymore. It's like kind of like gone 180 degrees, and like you're now trying not to like. I feel like there was this big joke about like triggering people for doing doing things that upset people
Hmm.
like before, and
Yeah.
it was very very much the focus was put on a very certain group of people for it. But now I feel like there's like whenever anything is made, they're having to worry about upsetting their like the people who say that they're their real fans.
Yeah, I see.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the backlash to He-Man Revelations
Hmm.
was the most of the negatives were coming from people who were like, well, this isn't my He-Man. This isn't the He-Man that like I had when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like it's okay for things to change, dude.
Yeah, and similar to Cowboy Bebop, it's already had like a few backlash in terms of certain actors and such on there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can see what you mean, but sometimes studios do play into social justices and stuff. Like they'll play up to it, bait and switch, gay baiting. It's not exactly uncommon for them to try and pull more people in to make more views and money and such. But like you said, it's the sad truth of corporate machines. But we can only hope and pray that there is a real weeb amongst them that will deliver. And I really hope that the Akira live action movie will be just as fantastic as the original.
I just wanna I wanna sit down and I wanna watch a live action adaptation made by Netflix where I don't sit down and before I press play think, how is this gonna disappoint me? I want to sit down and I want to think, what's going to happen? Like I'm really
Yeah.
excited. I don't want to be
Mm.
sitting down thinking, what are they gonna mess up?
Yeah. 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 I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. No, I won't say that.
Don't
But
embarrass me don't embarrass me in front of my friends.
no, I was going to say, I want it to be a film that's enjoyable, approachable, like, people who are coming into the anime and manga community. Because as we know, manga sales have been shooting through the roof at the moment. And there's getting a lot more eyes on the product and the culture than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
And if their kind of first introduction to live action is something as janky as Dragon Ball Evolution or
Don't
the
say
Death
its
Note.
name. If you
The
say its name 3 times in a mirror, it will come to your house.
I can't remember the name of the actor who played as Piccolo. He just turns up in that awful like
You mean
black
the scroll?
scroll. Yeah.
He didn't even
Not in
bother
the Namekian.
camouflaging himself.
Where's his yellow and pink bits?
Where's his stretchy limbs? No, he is a really hench scroll.
But there we go. I guess that's our thoughts.
Strong thoughts.
Strong thoughts, a lot of panic, a lot of praying, but let us know your thoughts. Again, just drop them into the comments. We'd love to know what you think. Do you think this is a game changer? Do you think we got nothing to worry about? It's in safe hands and everything else to come is going to change the world forever? Where's his antennas?
I think they're these.
That's not antennas.
You think that they're antennas? I think they're meant to be his antennas.
Is it James Masters? Is that his name, the actor's name?
Don't know, man. What else we got going on here? Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh my god. No.
Oh man.
Oh, Goku. No. No.
Oh,
there
man.
it is. Why didn't we get that?
Why didn't we get that? It seems so simple.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah, there's like a Zaru scene. It's not the best.
What? Okay, I'm done. I need to go and cleanse.
Yeah. We've Ice Wolf in the chat's just put, "Oh God, what is that?"
Pour
That
one out
is
for our boy.
that is supposed to be Piccolo, my friend. Circa what, 2000?
I've blocked it so far out of my brain.
2000, maybe
2009.
2009.
10th of April 2009 is when it was released in the US.
God.
It had a budget of 30 million and it made 58.2 million. Justin Chatwin, you should be ashamed of yourself. Should be ashamed of yourself.
Disgusting.
I may very well go and have a cry. I might just go and have a little cry.
Yeah, you have a cry.
Amos, I'm gonna be just weeping in my garden like Amos Diggory.
My boy!
It's my boy! It's my son!
Ah! It's just an empty wail at the end. Yeah, hug your waifu pillows close.
Is that the outro now?
That's the outro, yeah. Instead of keeping it tight or anything, hold those waifu pillows close. Pour one out for your Piccolo boy.
Pour one out for Piccolo, that's for sure.
Make sure it... we can't promote lighters.
Can we not?
Our listener base might be too young.
Fire is fire.
Yeah. As we try to wrap this up, pour one out. Watch Hero Rising. Watch all the OVAs. Some that are terrible, some that are fantastic. And
don't watch Dragon Ball Z Evolution.
Do not put yourself through hell and watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
Not even as a joke.
That's time you'll never get back. And we will no doubt catch you on the next episode. Don't forget, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. All that jazz as well. What am I doing? Yeah.
Where are the buttons? Are they put a button here and then a button here? You know, this is live. You can't just add stuff.
I can't do that. No, I can't. I'm not a wizard. Like Diggory.
He was a wizard. Now he's Cedric Deddery.
We're gonna get so much hate mail. Keep those pillows close, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.